call, which I know has been very well established, and say thank you to everyone. The hall is indeed full, so I'm just seeing the hall right now. So thank you so very much for coming. I would like to start by saying a very big thank you and congratulations to my brother, Cletus, for this. I'm a safety professional, but of course, I'm also a business person. So when I see this kind of numbers, you can imagine what is going on in my mind. How many of you understand what is going on in my mind? Are you sure? Because what I'm saying is what expatriates see when they come to Nigeria. Do you know what they say? Money and opportunities everywhere. This is massive. The hall is full. So it's simply, I know the last one I attended was also here. So Cletus, by advice and instruction of a friend, we can't use this venue again, I'm sure. We have to look for somewhere bigger because people are already standing at the back. And I think this is awesome. Not because of just the number, but because of what the Honorable also said. If you do a demographic analysis here, I'm sure we'll have more of the younger people, maybe about 50% who are here. I'm still a very young man, so I'm still competing with the Gen Zs. So I'm not leaving the stage yet. I think somebody said they want to leave the stage. That was my brother, Soji, said he wants to leave the stage. Best of luck. You didn't say that. But we have to be able to look at what we have here and really congratulate Cletus for a good job. I need you to put your hands together. It does not get better than this because we all have something to contribute, and that's what he has done. Everyone here, you are not paying for this. I do a lot of program and I go to attend program, and I'm sure if we have to ask you to pay, that's what I was saying. That what did they pay to come here? Well, it's free. And please be very aware that it's not actually free. You are only a beneficiary of something that is free. Someone is paying for this. Someone has sowed the seed for this. You can only help us by making sure that we have a harvest after a few years. A harvest. I'm happy with the testimony this one about someone who attended the first one in 2019. I was there at that event and Cletus was very correct. I mean, it was a massive event in VI. And then we have had a very good harvest from that right now. And I'm sure we're still having many more. And we need to make sure that this counts for us. Thank you so much for having me. And I'd like to say a big thank you again to Honorable Gumi for being here. I think this is this has to be like fourth program we have attended together in the last 1 month. Who is chasing who? Because it has to be passion, especially when he left that committee to another committee. And then he's still chasing us. And you know, he said something here, which I've always said. But people think when I say that I'm just exaggerating the whole situation. That you can be a professor of any course in Nigeria and you don't know anything about safety. I've said that several times because people think it's common sense. Or because you're a professor somewhere, you should understand safety. No. He said that himself. He's an engineer. And yet he didn't know. So we're here to learn. And I'm going to be starting that in the next 30 minutes. And just give us an idea of something that Cletus has agreed I can talk about in this conversation. Which is about positive safety culture. It's not anything new if you're a safety person who have been in this industry for a few days or a few weeks. Safety culture cannot be a terminology that is new to you. You have to have heard it in different conversations. But today I'm going to link this a bit to empowerment. Because this is what this program is all about. It's about empowerment. It's also about sustainability, which means, are we empowering ourselves to make sure we can sustain what we need in Nigeria? Nigeria has actually come of age when it comes to health and safety, and I can confirm that. I'm very young in the industry, about 25, 26 years right now. But I can tell you, it's not like this. And the beauty of it is that we are just starting. So we're just starting the real journey. I don't want to do maths here, but one of the things that hurt me so much is when I hear unemployment rates in Nigeria. It really hurts me because I don't know how to explain it to anybody. Because we have something that is a gold mine in our hand that can employ thousands of Nigerians. Thousands. Nigeria can employ thousands. UK has a population of about 65 million. The last analysis I had in the UK, there's over 1 million safety professionals. That's about 10%. Oh, just 65 million population. Over 1 million. I'm not saying people that do side hustle with safety. People whose jobs are health and safety, but they can do something else. I've not done the maths in Nigeria, but if we have 1 million safety professionals in Nigeria, then we should be doing well. I doubt if we have up to that. But we have over 200 million people. So there's a whole lot. So this theme of being a gold mine, you need to really understand what it means. Not just as a career, but even as business. I left my paid employment some 15 years ago at a very high leadership level, and I said I was going to do health and safety consulting and training. I remember my supervisor, my boss, who was an expert, he looked at me in the face and he couldn't just understand what I wanted. And it was after I had a program like this. I had a small program which was supposed to house about 100 persons. I call it Building a Successful Career in HSC 2010. I was still in paid employment. And I wanted to see what was going on in the society. And I did that program at CMD in Lagos. And paid, invited people, industry leaders to come in. And when I was paying for the hall, they said they had a 250 capacity hall. I said I didn't have the money to pay for it. I wanted a 100 capacity. They said no, that's the only one available. I paid for 250. We counted over 400 that attended in 2010. After that attendance, I go back to work and I resigned. I'm sure that was how I resigned. I still was planning for 2 years to resign at the workplace. But when I came and I saw the number, I got back home and myself and my wife, we had a very good dialogue. I said, no, I'm not going back to work. He said, what do you mean? I'm not going back to work. You have to go back to work. No, I'm not. He said, why? I said, did you see the number? 400 people who wants to become health and safety. Who will teach them? And that was my defining moment. I shut down the employment, resigned, and that was in August. I resigned when I got back in September. I was doing 28 rotation offshore. So I resigned in September. My boss said, no, you're a senior manager, you have to give us 3 months. That was the worst 3 months I had. September, October, November, December. It was like somebody was killing me. I was getting calls. We were sending mails. I want to become a safety person. What do I need to do? Eventually, January 2011, I left. I've not turned back. And that gold mine is exactly what we're seeing here. Because some of the people that are leading the industry today were in that meeting. And I can count 20 who are leading the industry today. They were in that meeting. Every time I see them, I'm so excited. So when I see things like this happening, I know for sure the Nigerian landscape is opening up and we're in for a good time. So if you want to come join us and you are here today, maybe they invited you, you are just here to come and see what is going on. We have a gold mine here. We have not even started exploring it. It's called HSC. Welcome to that gold mine. HSC Lifestyle Gold Mine, Positive Safety Culture. Basically, I will not even define that because that's not very important. I don't know if the slide is showing, but if it's not showing, I have it here. And one of the things that really gives me a lot of joy is when I read some very important statements that have been made by people who have actually traversed this journey. And it says, safety is not an intellectual exercise to keep us in work. It is a matter of life and death. It is the sum of our contributions to the safety management that determines whether the people we work with will live or die. My parents wanted me to be a medical doctor, and I didn't pass to become a doctor. And I found myself in the course I don't want to tell you guys, so you don't start looking at me and start belittling me. So I won't tell you that course, so don't worry. Because if I was still in that course now, maybe I would just start harvesting fruit from the tree. Why are you guys laughing? No, not. I'm not. I would have been invested 2 years. I did forestry. See now, if you underlook me next time. And somehow I found myself in health and safety. I don't know how. Story for another day. But one thing that was very clear to me is there's a need because people do die at work. If I show you the data and the statistics, which is all over, the next slide today you will see it. But we're not looking at that data. Let's leave that data alone. Because I can tell you this data is what you can estimate. In Nigeria, one time I tell people maybe that data, Nigerian data is actually part of it. When we're doing the profiling of Nigeria, OHS, and when ILO sponsored that project in 2016 to develop a profile, as I and my brother were there in Abuja for days with ILO. The consultant that came to give us the data, we challenged him because the data he gave to us showed that less than 100 people died in Nigeria that year. And I told him, I said, no, I've been a consultant for like 7 years. Just that year that we're doing that event, I can count 10 people that died where I was consulting. So maybe Nigerian data is not even in this data. We'll leave that for another day. But the fact is, people die in the workplace. And it's not acceptable. Cletus said that very clearly. Accidents can be prevented. That's our position. If you're a health and safety person, you have to either believe that, convince yourself about it, or confuse yourself about it. But we can prevent accidents. That's why we're here. So every time it happens, you need to tell yourself something. Someone is dead. We are all here, everybody is happy. One person drops dead here, you know what it means. One person. One person. So that passion to make sure that the workplace is safe is the biggest driver that drives this gold mine. And I'll repeat that again. The passion to make sure your next neighbor does not die is actually the tool that brings out the gold in this mine. If you come into this industry, I know people who have come into the industry to make money and they have gone away. They come in and I thought you guys said there's money here. I'm not finding it. Some even sold their businesses, moved to another profession. So Jay has been in the industry for more than 34 years, longer than me. Because once I first did that, you're already in the industry. And it's still there today. So I want to challenge us, especially those who are young amongst us. Please don't come here because you want to come and make money, even though the gold mine is there. Because you are going to be overwhelmed. Come because you cannot afford that somebody dies in the workplace. The data ILO shared with us, which you see here, tells us something, that the number of people that have died from all the wars all over the world combined for this year is less than the number of people that have died in the workplace. I can go and verify that. All wars, Ukraine war, the war in Nigeria, and add all the numbers together. It's not up to the number of people that died who have gone to work, who have gone to get their daily means of life. So it means workplace is actually worse than war. If safety person goes with that mind that there is danger, there is risk, there is death hovering over every workplace, no matter how beautiful it is, then we can do something about it. Because that's what our industry stands for. I mean, you cannot be a safety person in the workplace and somebody dies and they will not call you. I know sometimes when you are making noise for them to hear you, they don't hear you. That's fine. But when they need to hear you, somebody dies. Some time ago, I was even in the oil industry, because I worked in the oil industry. We were accommodated in a guest house, in a warehouse, in a facility where we were doing some jobs. And we had a problem with our swimming pool. There was no lifeguard. And we kept shouting, we needed a lifeguard. And my facility manager came to me. He's also an expert. He said, that's saying, I wish somebody dies here. We will get what we want. And I said, sir, it will happen. He said, we don't get it until something happens. Do you know the truth? Somebody actually died. Barely 2 weeks after that statement, somebody died. Before we started investigation, we had 3 lifeguards on site. And I was wondering, but we have been asking for lifeguards for 2 months. Lifeguards showed up. But do you know who they will call? For 1 month, I was on my toes investigating accidents. My facility manager did not even come near me. When it happens, they have to call you. Do you know why? Because you are the one that have the responsibility and the mind to do what? To prevent accidents in that place. So accidents is a bad thing for us. We need to develop a culture that swallows that, and that's my real point. Safety culture, what we call positive safety culture. And that's what I'm going to very shortly, and I'll be rounding this up. Workplace has 3 very fundamental pillars in these modern days. We have technology now, beautiful. We have the people, and then we have the culture. These 3 must integrate for us to have what? That positive safety culture that we're looking for in the place. Somebody may want to ask you which of the pillars you think is the strongest in the workplace. I think that would be an answer that everybody can get very easily. What do you think? The people. That's the asset. It's very easy to say it's the people because culture is built by people. OJ's kids told us it's Yoruba, isn't it? So it's different from someone who is from the south here. The fact remains that the culture defines who you are. That's your identity. When I step into a workplace, it's not difficult for me to know. You don't need to tell me anything. Because at some workplaces, the gate is where the health and safety starts and ends. So you see at the gate, beautiful signages. Mandatory PPE acceptable on this side, on the wall. Once you open the gate and you enter, you are asking, did I enter a wrong place? Because it's not the same of what people say. So culture is not silent. Culture is not something you cannot say. The reason why Nigeria is booming and everybody's looking at it is our culture. Everything you trace to Nigeria is our culture. Everything you trace to workplace is the culture of the workplace. So if we are going to have empowerment and sustainability, in order for us to access this good mind, we need a culture that is safe. Otherwise, you will get the gold mine and again have an accident. I'm sure you know accident in gold mines. How many of you have been reading? No, we are not started in Nigeria. So I'm not sure we even have data from gold mines because our mines are still underdeveloped. Go to Ghana, go to Australia, where mining is the real job, and you see mines collapse. They are going to get the gold or the cobalt or any of those natural resources, and then the thing collapses on them and they're gone. Sometimes buried for days before they are now brought out. So going into a gold mine is a risk. How many of you know? Oh yes, because what you are seeing now is, the way they crafted this team. When I was dissecting it, I was like, let us try small. It's a gold mine, but how many people go into a gold mine and come out? There's something you need to go into the gold mine before you can come out. And that is what? That's competence. That's what? That's passion. You can name them. That's why I said, don't call me because you want to come and make money. Because gold mine has a lot of risk. There's a proverb in Yoruba land that they say, someone that wants to eat the honey will not look at the mouth of the what? Or the face or the sharpness of the axe. Because if you see how it is being struck before you get it, you cannot get the gold in the mine unless you have some mindset. That mindset is the culture that we're looking at very quickly. So, safety culture is the way we do things, just as the culture of your state or your community is the way you do things there. But you need to understand very well that culture is so strong, and I think it was forgotten the name of this strategist guy that gave us this very good quote that everybody says today. That culture is strategy for what? Culture is strategy for what? For breakfast. No matter how fantastic your strategy is, the culture of your organization or your business will kill that strategy. It will never materialize. We are getting to the end of the year right now. People are setting strategy for next year. What culture are you going with? If you're a young person here and you are embracing or just starting this industry, what culture are you building for yourself that will lead you to achieve that gold mine? You can put all the things you want to do next year, write them down. I'll be looking at it every day. The mindset, because culture starts from what? From your way of thinking. The way we do things starts from the way we think about things. Some of us, our mindset is, I'm coming to a place where I need to say this very clearly. When I came into the health and safety space, I didn't even understand because, we're not very many, to be honest, that time. And the industry has the safety people in the oil and gas. But in the society, it was a difficult thing. So you can only find people in the oil industry that say safety. So you come and you're looking at it. And I remember one of those days, if there was any reason for me to start my safety consulting and business, because I started with advocacy, was because I thought there was a need for competence. I'm grateful the company I work for trained me. And I saw the difference. And I thought we needed competence. I didn't come because I saw a good mind that everybody is saying today. I came because I could not just agree. And there was a story that was very close to me because I lost a cousin in the steel industry. I was still in the oil industry then, and he died. And I can't remember how much he was paid, maybe 450,000 euros for compensation. And I was like, no, is that life? All of those drove me to what I'm talking about today. There are things needed to go into that gold mine. And your culture, which is from your mindset, is one of those things that you need. I'll go to a very key place I want to emphasize. Everybody talks about leadership. Honorable Gumi here, engineer, as by the way, congratulations for a fellowship. No, Engineer Gumi is just a trailblazer. I was at an event last week where it was confined with the fellowship, and that fellow of Nigeria Institute of Safety Engineer. That's a big one, to be a fellow, you know what it means. It's not something you buy. And I was thinking after the whole thing, and I told myself a very good fact. I said leadership is key. But everybody thinks the leadership is Engineer Gumi or the president of Nigeria. Have you thought to yourself that you're actually the leader of yourself? Has that ever come to you that you make the decision about yourself? How many of you still have your decision being made by your father, your mother, and your cousins, your village? Okay, if you are still, that would be like name shaming you, right? So if you don't want to raise your hand, it's okay, put it in your pocket. But if at your age, after university, you are still being manipulated by several things, I think you don't understand what is going on. Because you are the first leader of your life. I do not discount mentorship and people advising you, but I can tell you today, every decision I've made in the last 30 years of my life are my decision. I went out of Lagos as a 17-year-old against my mother's advice to the school in Umuahia, Abia State, a Yoruba guy from Lagos. I've never traveled in Nigeria before my life. And I went to that school. And when I thought my father was very strong and he'll be leading me in everything, God just took him away. So I became the decision maker for everything. My father died at 20. I was 22 when he died 28 years ago. At 50, he died at 50, so I'm actually older than when he died now. So I became and I started thinking leadership. You have to be the first leader of yourself for you to build what I want to read now. Leadership influences your mindset and your culture. Your culture drives your behavior yields your results. What result do you have today? Is because you are the leader. Anything you are seeing yourself today, please blame yourself before you blame anybody else. I'm not saying government should not do something. I'm not saying your father should not do something. But if your father refuses to do anything and your government refuses to do anything, what have you done for yourself? Safety in Nigeria has never had leadership from government. I'm sorry to say. That's why we're where we are. Yes, we have a ministry. We have never had leadership from government. Most of us, look at what Cletus is doing here. I've never seen any of event like this by any agency of Nigeria organizing this. I'm sorry, I've not seen, and I have no apology. I've challenged them sometimes. Somebody raised this, an individual. That's leadership. And you're expecting Ministry of Labor or whatever association you call to raise people and say, come and listen to what will make you get into this gold mine. You're wasting your time. Somebody did this. And I know the sleepless night is involved. You are the leader. The result you get today is a function of the leadership you are providing yourself. You want to get the gold in this mine, in HSA, you are the leader. Because that leadership will immediately change the way you behave. It will also drive your results. So show me your results, and I'll tell you the leadership that you have become to yourself. And that's what we need to tell ourselves here. We have a gold mine in front of us. You need leadership to achieve it. That result is only possible when you stand up and be counted. And I'm not saying wait for ISPON, wait for NICN, wait for my brother WSO. They can do the best they can do. You will do the first yourself. Are you a leader over your life? If you are not, you are in the wrong place. Because that's what I would like to draw very strongly. Leadership influences your culture drives your behavior is your result. Compliance and culture. I love compliance because that's what most of us think about. Tick the box, tick the box, tick the box. But you know what that tells me? Everybody that set a checklist from you is taking leadership away from you. Why should somebody tell you what is right to do? I always tell people, if you know what is right to do, and you know I think that's scripture. Where are the pastors here? Pastor Sochi, Pastor Cletus. Okay, I saw email from Pastor Gumi. No, sorry, Engineer Gumi that time. For as many of us that pastor here, I think that is a scriptural sentence. Whoever knows what is right and fail to do it, conclude it. Okay. To him it is failure. Because sin is also failure. So if you know the right thing and you choose to do it, why should somebody send me a checklist? Do this. And you know what we always do? We tick the box. It never really becomes part of us. Just put the dots inside the box. You know, sometimes you don't even read all of them. You put a bracket like this, you just say no. Because you are tired of even ticking the box. Somebody will say, what did you just tick now? Everything is no now. If you have ever done this application, you know what I mean. Compliance focuses on rules and procedure. That's fine. But those rules and procedure are supposed to do what? Go beyond compliance to produce your culture. So one thing here that I want to emphasize, culture helps you to build trust and encourages you to do what? To speak out. We need a culture that goes beyond compliance. We must get out of rules. We will set the rules and you must obey the rules. But you know people obey the rules and yet they do not embrace the culture. Oh yes. How many of you, well, maybe you don't do that again, seat belts. Those days of road safety, you see all manner of rope to do your seat belts. I see some of those pictures. But some of those people, as they just leave police and leave road safety like this, a young man drove me in Yenegua, and I just came from Yenegua yesterday, and I was telling him, as soon as I down, I always sit in the front. I said, use your seat belt. He said, Ghana, these old people. And I said, no, use your seat belt. He said, hey, I just want to start. I said, no, use it. You know why? I'm the one paying. So as far as this guy is concerned now, it's my own. Use your seat belt. He said, okay, you like me too much. Oh. I said, so you know the reason. So sometimes they know the reason, but compliance blindfolds and does not allow culture to come up. They know the reason. Some of the rules you obey, you know why you're obeying it. Because somebody's going to punish you, isn't it? If you get out of where nobody punishes you, will you do it? No. There's no culture for it. All right, I'm rounding up now in 5 minutes. So safety culture and safety mindset system, I don't want to emphasize that because for people who operate health and safety in the industry, professionals, you have set up your SMS, all those your ISO standards, everything is in place. One of the funny thing about it is some organizations remain at the SMS alone and still culture eludes them. So I say very clearly here that culture without SMS, without a strong culture, is just a box checking risk, superficial compliance. People are certified to ISO standard 45001, but they still have accidents on regular cases. How? That is safety management system that is not doing what? That is lacking culture. You see how I brought it to corporate? It's the same thing. Because even as an individual, it's the same thing for you. You have set up things you must do for yourself, but there is no sustaining power of culture to take it. You are not going to achieve it at the end. So, I say here very clearly, SMS formalizes, but culture does what? Personalizes. Personalization of safety is what brings about the competence, the empowerment, the sustainability, and of course, those of you that also have it as a goal, the billionaires. Because some people have it as goal, right? There, I must hammer, I go buy car, buy motor, buy house. And you have all of those things, it will come. But only that culture can do what? Formalize it and make it, personalize it and make it yours. My last few slides. Human is important. We are all human. So it is in our brain that all this thing works. We need to allow our brain to function. We need to allow our mindset to be shifted into what we can become. Gold mine in safety is reality. I can tell you, this is my 16th year as a private practitioner. I did 10 years in the industry. So I can tell you for free, safety can empower you. Safety can give you what you need to be a success in the 3 ways that my brother defined it: to create impact, to meet your own need, and to be able to influence people. Cletus is an influencer. I don't know what else you want to use as an English. This number of people gathered here, even if you are giving people food, they will not stay. And people are seated. So that is what this is all about. He has done this even when he was the NICM president. I'm sure some of you don't know that he was once NICM president in Nigeria. He has put his mouth, he has put his leg where his mouth is. He has walked the talk. And that's what we are seeing here today. So we need our mindset to shift. We need to be emotionally intelligent in order to influence all the choices that we are making. 2026 is right here in front of you. What choices? You remember this year has ended. Do a stock taking. You attended last year. This year has ended. You are here again this year. Thank you for coming. What has changed? If nothing has changed, the gold mine is eluding you, and you need to know how to get it. So we are not robots as humans. We need more that we need to do. Technology will help us to enable us in this safety culture, but we need the human mind to do the job. And a very good template I use is from IOSH. If you are a member of IOSH or you go to IOSH website, you will see a very important competence cycle that IOSH designed. It goes from the technical to the soft and to that part that everybody needs that we call behavioral. If you can take a look at it, I think I have it on the screen. It will help us a lot because we need to. Learning. You cannot be in this industry and not be an adept learner. I can't count how many courses I've done. Some years back, a young guy came and wanted to come and learn from me, brought by his brother. And my wife was in the living room and we're just gisting together. And my wife looked at him and just laughed. She said she wants to say something. I said, don't say it. I know what she was going to say. I know what she said. She said, one day my husband woke up and collected our wedding rings that were very expensive, sold them, and said he was going to UK to study. Those were things that some of us did. It's not impossible. Once that course is relevant to me, no matter what, I'll do it. Nothing matters. The course I needed to learn. Because I realized that professors of engineers cannot teach me safety. So I have to go and learn. So I have to learn and learn and learn. You cannot be in the industry without building your competency. No competency, no empowerment. You will never become an influencer, an impact maker, or a value driver. You need to learn. You have to learn. Thank you, Cletus, for giving courses out. Because we have to. We have to. I don't know what system the organizer and my brother Abano will use in selecting, but I want to give a NIBOSH course to somebody here. So, whichever way Abano and the rest selected, somebody will win it free of charge. And you can do it in any of our centers in Nigeria. Protocol anywhere you want. Once you select the person, they should communicate with me, and the person will be a recipient of that course. You have to learn. There is no way. You cannot tap no gold mine if you do not know it. The risk of the gold mine only answers to competence. If you see, some of you enter gold mine and you don't even know what can kill you. You don't know ordinary heat in that place will stop the life out of you in 5 minutes. If you have not been there before, you can't know. We need competence to be able to do that. I'll go to my last slide so I don't waste. He's already here asking me to leave. So, last slide before conclusion says, how do we do this synergy effect? People plus technology is an enhanced capability. So you need to enhance your capability to do. Technology plus culture is sustained implementation of your process. What you have decided to do for yourself, you can implement it if you add your mindset to what is available to you in technology. Culture plus people is the behavioral change. What culture do you have and you are leading by every day? That will create a change in you. And finally, when you add the three together, you will get your desired safe future. I'm not saying safety. Desired safe future. What's that your safe future that you're desiring? If you add technology to yourself and to the culture you have, you will achieve that. In conclusion, a positive safety culture starts with people. It is strengthened by a system that you have created for yourself and then powered by the technology. Some of us did not see technology when we started. If I saw what is going on right now, I'm sure maybe I'll be flying in the air. Thank God I'm not flying, I'm still human being, let me be here. But the availability of technology right now, it means you can achieve much. Please, by all means, enjoy. So safety culture, personally or corporately, is a continuous journey. It's not a one-time event. God bless you. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, yes, it's a continuous journey, not a one-time event. But do not forget, in the words of Mr. And these days I've been conferring doctorate degrees on desired persons. Dr. Dapo Omolade, in his words, it begins with you. It begins with you. What are you doing? Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together once again for that paper, that presentation on safety culture. And you're looking for him on LinkedIn. I'm sure there's a number of nuggets and insights he dropped. Even at the point where he was touting the NIBOSH course. I saw a young lady with her right there. That's the phone I saw. So please, his name on LinkedIn is Dapo Omolade. Be sure to tag him, post and tag him as we continue this campaign. And now, this award of recognition, this plaque is presented to him. Please put your hands together for him. That was an astutely delivered presentation. Thank you very much, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, the business has begun. And if you are snoozing, I do not know what you're doing. Before we move on to the next important assignment, it is important to also recognize some more persons who have joined us, sparing us their time, their presence, and in no particular order, please, as I call them, as I recognize them, please put hands together for them. Remember our conversation around energy. Are we still in agreement? Well, I've not even called the names. But thank you for responding. Ladies and gentlemen, please appreciate the Chairman, Southeast Chapter, Nigerian Institute of Food Science and Technology, NIFST, Dr. Bariware Samuel Kibo. A round of applause for him. Thank you for joining us, sir. Also, we have in our midst, representing the Director of Special Duties, Nigeria Civil Aviation Authority, NCAA, corporate headquarters in Abuja, that's Mr. Mauritius Egwa. Representing him, we have Engineer Shambudin Dalatu. Thank you for joining us, sir. Thank you for your time. And it appears that all morning or all day, I've only been recognizing male experts and participants. I dare not be partisan. Otherwise, I might not leave Port Harcourt in one piece. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for this public health professional who has spared her time to be here today. Later on, she will be delivering a talk around your health, my health. Dr. Stella Aneke. Please, a round of applause for Dr. Stella Aneke. Thank you very much for your time, ma. Thank you. She was here quite on time. Let me circle back to my gender. We have Dr. Mohammed Bashir, CEO, BWP Hospital, and Executive Director, Optimal Management Consults. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Mohammed Bashir. That's a patriotic Nigerian there, wearing the proud colors. Great. Yeah, thank you very much, DJ. Please remind me. DJ Mesh. Well, I find that that's quite interesting. You know, culture, mesh, and mesh. Ladies and gentlemen, DJ Mesh. Thank you very much. Let's appreciate the person of Professor. The first professor I'm going to be introducing today. I need to take this a little more professionally as a professor. Ladies and gentlemen, if your hands are not too busy, please make welcome Professor Patience C. Obina Ekran, Head of Department, Food Science and Technology, Rivers State University. Let's Professor Patience. Oh, she's coming all the way from the back. Keep the applause going until she gets here. Professor Patience C. Obina Ekran. If it's your HOD, you better be clapping properly. School will still resume again, you know. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. We also have seated in our midst a QA, QC, and nutritionist CHO at NLNG Port Harcourt, Dr. Susan Joe Chukwu. Thank you very much, Dr. Susan. Thank you for joining us. And all the way from Downgrade Technical and Consult Limited, we have the Managing Director, Grace T. Coco. Ladies and gentlemen, we have an agreement. You cannot be tired. You cannot be tired. Thank you for joining us, man. And ladies and gentlemen, this next person I'm introducing, you will want to give as much energy as possible. The reason you will get to know very shortly is the MD Mark Offshore Solutions Limited, Port Harcourt. Ladies and gentlemen, his name is Monday Ahibe. And why you should give him as much energy is because that man right there is the immediate senior brother to the convener of this summit. You know what they say about those that go before, setting the pace for those coming behind. Thank you for joining us, sir. Thank you for your time. Let's also appreciate, I'm liking what this DJ Mesh is doing. It's giving some good vibes to these introductions. Let's also appreciate Engineer Faith Noate, MD Didem Consult Limited, Port Harcourt. Thank you for joining us, sir. And also, we have another beautiful woman in our midst who is the acting head of department, Oil and Gas Free Zones on. I hope I got that right. On. So I'll take that again. The acting head of department, Oil and Gas Free Zones on Mrs. Agpo Prudence. My goodness, such a beautiful handwriting. Ladies and gentlemen, Mrs. Alabo Prudence, thank you for joining us, ma'am. The acting head of department, Oil and Gas Free Zones on Ladies and gentlemen, it's a beautiful day. It's a good day to make history. Important business is up ahead. We've had the first presentation, and trust me, you do not want to miss any. We have more presentations coming up. We have a vibrant panel session loaded for you. But at this time, if your hands are not too busy, please make welcome Dr. Mohammed Bashir for the QMSAI process information. And just a second before I hand over to Dr. Mohammed, it is very important that as we are sharing these nuggets on LinkedIn, as we have agreed, you tag the QMSAI Quality Management Safety Auditors Institute account on LinkedIn. Tag them as well as Osh Media Limited. This summit is powered by those two powerful bodies. So please, as you are posting, please make sure you tag them. And of course, you will get a repost. Dr. Mohammed, sir, ladies and gentlemen, your hands together for him.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Let me start on the already established protocols, which I think has been established on a very solid foundation. My elders, my leaders, my superiors has explained a lot about what we are here today for. But I think I have a special message. That special message is about QMSAI. If you are hearing that name for the first time, can you please raise up your hand? QMSAI. Even my DJ or the man of the event has not even done that thing very well. It's Quality and Management System Auditors Institute. Do I get it right? Quality and Management System Auditors Institute. It's the first in the sub-West African region. And what is it all about? You'll be quite aware of it very soon. Yeah, let's quickly go there. Once again, I think because I'm part of KMSAI, I may not need to reintroduce myself again. And my able brother has mentioned something today. It's about what can you make out of this summit. Don't just tell me you are present at 2024 summit, you are present at 2025 summit, and that's all. You eat our food and you go home. If you don't take anything out, my able brother has just said it. It shows you didn't get it. Now, Quality and Management System Auditors Institute. Let me just tell you something. Because you see the word Q there, just is giving you an impetus to all management system auditors. We are talking about auditors and management system implementers. So this content will cover only 3 things. Next slide. I want to explain differences between trained and certified management system auditors. Also, I want to enlighten you about the QMSAI journey towards ISO 17024 standard certification. Also, and I will tell you the gateway for you to becoming a certified management system auditors. So let's go. The first thing it has to do with a lot of people having attended 5 days lead auditor course in 9001, ISO 14001, Occupational Health and Safety Standard 45001 2018 version, Information Security Standard 27001, Food Safety Standards ISO 22001 2018 revised version. Because you've attended 5 days auditor's course, you just think you are a certified auditor. Am I right? No. Am I right? You are wrong. So it shows a lot of people here believes attending 5 days auditor's course has qualified you to become a certified auditor. Mark my word. There are differences between certified auditors and trained auditor. Now I'll tell you the reason. If you are a trained auditor, it shows you have attended the training. And that training, you have not started implementing that training. We haven't seen that training in you. You have not demonstrated the knowledge attained from that training. So it's like somebody that goes to school and did accounting and claim I'm a chartered accountant. Is it? No. You're not. And that is why QMSAI, see, we have a booth here inside for people that would like to take advantage of getting themselves certified auditor. Now, the second thing is about if you are a certified auditor, it means you have the followings. You have the educational qualification. To be certified auditor is not a secondary school living certificate, no. It means anything above secondary level education. Being it OND, HND, BSc, MSc, PhD, be anything. It means you have successfully completed the training and you have applied the professional conduct. You have started implementing, using the knowledge, and you have evidence of it. So now, let's quickly move forward. QMSAI. Take advantage about one of my own journey. As far back as year 2001, I become a certified, I would say I become a trained auditor while working with Bureau Veritas Quality International in Qatar. And it takes me many years. And to be certified, when I got the training, to be certified, I have to be certified by IRCA, International Registered for Certified Auditors, or we call it Certificated Auditors. So I hope you are getting the difference. You got the training, and then you use your certificate of training to apply to be a certified professional. So, if you have not even started the journey by attending the training, you are at the back of the wall. So if you have attended the training, you are at the gate. Using your certificate Mind you, if you look into your certificate, below it, there's a very tiny thing written there. A lot of you doesn't look at it. It said, this certificate is valid for your accreditation or registration only for 3 years. Do you observe that? A lot of people doesn't look into it. So if you got the training and you didn't apply, you lose your training certificate for application. If you have attended such training within the last 3 years, for whatever standard, be it quality, health and safety, environment, whatever. So let's quickly talk about the QMSAI. Next slide. Okay. QMSAI is the first of its kind. I have been renewing my license as a certified auditor with IRCA for donkey years. And while working for Qatar Foundation, they are paying for my renewal fee. After I left Qatar Foundation, I started my consulting firm. I'm paying to IRCA. Then I changed to PECB Canada. Then after some time, I am in Nigeria. Will I continue to pay to these people? No, we must start something here in Nigeria. And we started it. Can you please give it a hand of applause for my honorable DG, Mr. Cletus Saibi? If you're not proud of that your fellow brother has established this and has made it working, and we are now almost on our final lap to getting ISO 17025 2012 version, which is the only certification requirement for bodies certifying personnel. And this is the same that IRCA PCB got. So if we got that in Nigeria, do you still need to pay to IRCA UK? Now somebody is doing that magic here and we still don't appreciate it. Let's appreciate him again, please. All right. We want to leverage on the enormous resources in Nigeria. We have those teeming, brilliant youths. And youths like me, I'm still part of the youth. Don't count me out. Is it because of my white beard or whatever? The resources are there. I don't like to hear the word, there is no job. Do you imagine what my honorable brother just said? Creating such HSC professionals create such a job. When that job is created, who is going to work it? Should somebody tell me I don't have a job then? It means you are not ready to do. So let's tap into this. Now, the potentials are enormous. Let me quickly move forward. Next. KMSAI, as of now, our scope of certification, we have a lot, but we're starting with the 5 major areas. Namely, the quality management system ISO 9001-2015. May not be 2015 in the next year. You see, there are the updated minds are here. I couldn't hear those noise from the back because they were still not part of it. The standard is being reviewed. The last version of quality management system standard is 2015. The same as if AMS 14001 is also 2015. That 2015, they released a lot of standards. But 2018 has the benefit of the HSC, the ISO 45001 standard. Am I correct? Okay, let's remember when it was BSK 800. In those days, OSHA 17001, 1999. That's what you did. I also started with that. All right. KMSAI certification scheme covers this area. You see, I highlighted them in yellow. If you have anything to do with management and you think about quality, then QMSAI is your best bet. Whatever you have studied, attend the lead auditor course that is accredited. Don't go to that small backside that just give you 3 days, or they tell you do it online, pash. It must be accredited. And now KMSAI has been accrediting courses. So, number 1, you got to attend lead auditor course that is accredited, and you must have certificate of successful completion. You know the job. A lot of people doesn't know the logic. Okay, you remember the difference between certificate of attendance and certificate of successful completion. Can somebody tell me? All of you get the same certificate, the same, nothing different. If I issued it, I will just give you the same certificate with others. One is certificate of successful completion. The other one is certificate of attendance. Certificate of successful completion means you've attended the exams and passed. If you don't pass, we'll give you the same certificate, but we know what is there. Calculators, don't forgive you. Now, these standards are very, very unique. Why do we pick these 5? Because this is what we need most in Nigeria for now. We saw many things getting wrong. I don't want to take your time. 14,001 environment. The environment department are getting so much money from the budget too. My organ knows that. But they don't have qualified hands about environmental standards, international sustainability methodologies. I think I got certified to 14,001 in 2003. Until now, we're still fighting it. 45,001, occupational health and safety standard. This is the HSC you are. You know, there are differences between being a certified HSC auditors and certified HSC operators. You can be on the site doing site inspections. You are not an auditor. But if you are an auditor, you'll be part of the management that does the planning, that does the risk assessment, that does the evaluation, that looks at the control methodology, that does the effectiveness of the controls. You are part of management, you are not the man in the sun. Do you get the logic? Yes. Those ones in the sun also are good people. Please, so don't quote me wrong. That's where money lies, oil and gas. The next one is food safety standard. How can you do economics? How can you do food and nutrition? You have degree in food and nutrition, and you didn't do food safety auditors. You are not. How can you tell me there is no job, for goodness sake? Why people are still drinking and there is so much of food poisoning outside there? You will see, sorry, let me not spoil the market. You will see some food displayed in the sun that's supposed to be refrigerated. The milk is already fermented. You take it in the sun hot instead of cold. You throw it inside your stomach and problem started. We need auditors. We need people to check with this. We need professionals that can apply international standards. That's what we are calling you to do. Next is 27,001 Information Security Management Systems. ISO 27,001. See the cyber crimes. See all what is going on. Who are those auditors in Nigeria? Why are you telling me there is no job? Why are we saying we don't know what to do? Come to QMSAI. The next slide, please. Let me quickly highlight some difference between management certified management system auditors. I mean QMSAI certified. I don't want to talk for others. If you are QMSAI certified auditors, are you going to share this presentation with them? I beg, go and read them. Instead of taking my time telling you, you'll be getting that. You'll be getting that. Next, I will have 6 slides from that. You know, I talk too much. The man is already beside me. Now, the next one, let me tell you the gateway, the pathway to getting certified. What is it? No. Okay, we'll start with this. The first one is we have that category. It's about 5 levels. You just have to fit in one. If you don't have the knowledge at all, you can fit in. If you started at the lower level, there is a cadre for you. If you are professionals, there is a cadence for you. You can start to be a provisional auditor, PQMSAI. These are for people who have completed the training, but they don't even practice. So the hope is not lost. That training you have done, you didn't use it. No problem. You know the difference between KMSAI? We created pools of auditors and we are the one to use you. We will send you for audits. We will take you along. This is how we train. It's not just about mouth. When you become certified, we will schedule you for audits. We will use you. You will be an observer until you become better. So what more are you waiting for? The next is auditor. You see, don't be confused with this auditors. I'm not here to explain what is audit, so you better go for the training. There is difference between provisional auditor and auditor. If you become an auditor, it means you are recognized. It means you have the qualification, you can perform an audit. It's because I decided to go away from the comparison. A certified auditor is qualified to do external audits. Do you get the difference? Non-certified auditors, you can only do internal audit for your organization. Certification body like British Standard Institution, DNV, BSI will not employ you, will not even contract you. But if you become certified under QMSAI, your name will be in the register worldwide. Even if you are not alive, may God give us long life, your name will still be there as a certified professional. So what are you talking about? What we are promoting is not because of money. It's not just because, don't think we want to make money. If it is that, this summit will have been so expensive. And a lot of you may not even have come that time. So let's get it straight. All we need is for our people to develop. It's for us to embrace the right track. When we say something is wrong, if only one or two persons are saying something is wrong, nobody will listen. See what Oga says. Let everybody go to Abuja and find them and talk to them and tell them. I don't remember the last date. I think I did my neighbors. Oga, you pay me for the neighbor show. Yeah? I mean, you will give me another neighbor. I did my first neighbor in 2004 or 2005. And I did my postgraduate in occupational health in Loughborough University, UK. And I did my PhD in occupational health. And I'm an auditor. See, all those ones, they are not bringing food easily. The one that is bringing food is the auditing job. True. If you are a professional auditor, you do one Monday, you get 75,000 naira per Monday, sometimes 125,000 naira per Monday. Do you think it's a joke? Next, you can be a lead auditor. You have to be performing as an auditor. You need to have some numbers of Mondays. I'm not going to explain all that one here. You know, there is no time. Before you can become a lead auditor, if you have been a lead auditor, performing audits for several number of audits, certification audits, surveillance audits, third-party audits, you have your logbook, you update it in QMSI folder. We have all this thing is ready. That's why we are certified. Then you can become a lead. When you become a lead auditor for several numbers of years, it's not just because you are a lead auditor now you want to be a. There is another value above lead auditors. Who can tell me that? Principal auditor. In those days, when we are certified with IRCA, it means you have to complete 200 audits before you can be promoted to be a principal auditor. And I think I did that one in 2016 or 2011. And I've been a principal auditor working for several management system certification bodies until recently. When I come to Nigeria and I was asked to become a principal, I said no. Congratulations, no way. I have been a principal auditor for almost 14 years now, and I've conducted several audits, with more than 400 audits. So I cannot be a principal auditor. So I'm happy to tell you I'm now a fellow in QMSAI. hope every one of us can be the same. We can get there. This is what we are saying. This is what we are looking for. So, where are we?
Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Dr. Mohammed. Put your energy. Put your hands together for Dr. Mohammed. If there's nothing, if you're not convinced about the passion that these men carry, I do not know what else will convince you. Remember, I said this, for a free event, this is an event loaded with immense benefits. Do not forget that. Once again, it is the third edition of the Port Harcourt HSC Summit 2025. And I'm happy once again to highlight the importance of noting that this is a collective effort. I've identified the young, the old, the babies, the toddlers, the experts, the professionals who have gathered here today. And at this time, I'd like us to appreciate a select few who have also made their way here today. 7 core members of the NCCF, that's the Nigerian Christian Corpus Fellowship here in Port Harcourt. Please, a round of applause for them. Where are they? Can they signify? Oh yes, please put your hands together for them. Joining in the clamor for a safer Nigeria. If you listen very well to Dr. Mohammed, then you will know why the theme for this summit was chosen. HSE lifestyle. Okay, I think I'm going to throw a challenge there. So, ladies and gentlemen, remember the energy conversation. So now what we need to do is to make the public know exactly what we are doing here today. So I hope that somebody will capture this and possibly share it on LinkedIn, for example. So on my count 3, we are going to go, the theme, it's right there. HSC lifestyle, the gold mine. Because listening to Dr. Mohammed, you can hear exactly why, if we imbibe the HSC lifestyle, we will be digging deep into a gold mine. So are we ready? Are we ready? So on 3, 2, 1. If you think it's only in the HSC industry there's job, that's not the only place where there's job. We are recruiting social media savvy safety professionals, right? Like the person who studies food and nutrition, studied home economics, like Dr. Mohammed said, and doesn't have the food safety auditor's certification. So you never can tell what lies in store for you if you can prove that you are social media savvy. Are we ready? Ladies and gentlemen, on 3, 2, 1. HSC lifestyle, the gold mine. Please make sure you are an active part of that mining. Ladies and gentlemen, I must always reiterate that the speakers, the panelists have been carefully selected. And before I move on to our next paper presentation, I would like to give us a recap of who our last speaker was. He is one of Africa's most influential figures in HSC, ISO systems, and sustainability. With over 25 years of multi-sector experience, he has trained more than 1 million professionals worldwide and supported over 100 organizations across Nigeria, Ghana, the United Kingdom, and the USA. A former IOSH West Africa chair, a certified international trainer, and founder of the DOME initiative, he is a passionate advocate for workplace safety and sustainable development across the continent. And yes, indeed, we did see that passion in his presentation. Please once again appreciate Dr. Mr. Dapo Omolade. Please a round of applause for him for that presentation. And our next speaker is a distinguished academic with deep expertise in food microbiology, fermented foods, and food safety systems. She holds a PhD from Plymouth University in the UK and has authored more than 60 scientific publications. She has served River State University in various leadership capacities and is a certified food scientist recognized by both Nigerian and international professional bodies. Ladies and gentlemen, today to deliver a presentation on food safety as a public health priority, preventing contamination, illness, and economic loss. Make welcome the head of department, food safety at the River State University, Professor Mrs. OBIANUJUNWA. Patience, Chisa. Is that the amount of energy you can muster? Ladies and gentlemen, Professor OBIANUJUNWA. Patience, Chisa.
Thank you very much. I must seize this opportunity to thank the convener, Mr. Cletus. It was sometime in June, I met with him. Sorry, as a professor, there was a certificate program, and one of my students did inform me. I said, no, I like to learn. And that is hereditary anyway. Because at the age of my father, if he comes to my house, he will be reading. And then the cleaner would turn to me and say, man, is he going to write the exam? So I said, I'm going to add more to what I know. And some persons were like, you're a professor, you know this thing now. This is what you even teach us in class. I said, leave it to, I'm going to update myself. There may be something new. And when I walked into that training hall, when everybody, I saw that Mr. Cletus he drew a deep breath. I said, no, I must quench this. I said, please, as long as we are in this training hall, I'm a student, please, nobody should call me prof. Then he breathed down. But he did something funny. As he is teaching, he would say, prof, I think that is true. I said, Cletus, you must stop this. I'm here to learn. And I appreciate every one of us and the privilege given to me. I like to control my slides myself, but okay. I am Professor Patience OBIANUJUNWA. I had my BSc in Food Science and Technology from the then River State University of Science and Technology. I had my master's in University of Plymouth. There I did what is called food safety and quality management. And I had my PhD same in University of Plymouth, where I looked at microbiology, measuring in the formulation of our own African food as a functional food. You know, when I come into gatherings like this, there is that first feeling that comes into me. Oh, these people are oil and gas, and you are in food. I want to give us a slogan. No food, no life. No food, no life. Without safety of food, no good life. With safe food, nutritious food, there is healthy life. I'll give us another equation. Bring in everybody, with due respect to everybody here, bring in every profession and divide by 0. It turns to what? 0. So now seafood as that common denominator that will divide everything. And that is one thing I tell my students. They are here. Elemono, are you here? Over 100 of them registered for this program. I said, Prof, we are coming to hear what you will say. I said, no, I won't close down the department. Oh, please. 1 or 2 persons can come and represent, and then the others can join us virtually. Well, what I'm saying is, the young man shouting energy. Each time he says energy, I say, That is my profession now. Without food, where will you derive the energy? So I walk with my shoulders high. I don't like to be intimidated by other people. They will kill themselves an acronym. Q something, CLA something. Without food is not enough. So over to what you have to say. That means me, I'm a professor and a teacher. I will teach. These are the things I'm going to run us through. The next slide. I don't like this thing, the next slide. If I click by myself, it's better for me. By way of introduction, I was given a topic. I am going to run through the keywords in that topic. It says food safety as a public health priority, preventing contamination, illness, and economic loss. There's this thing I do in class. Each time I walk in, I ask the student, what is food? You are here to read food science and technology. What is food? And everywhere goes quiet. It's not that you don't know what food is. And I will say, if you have never eaten food, raise up your hand. And nobody will. But how to put the words together and tell what food is their problem. It's simple. Whatever you take in that is either fresh, that is unprocessed, semi-processed, it has gone through certain levels of transformation, or processed, the transformation has been completed, and even certain additionals to food, the microorganisms, the food preservatives that become part of the food. When you consume, it gives nourishment. But there are exclusions. With the exclusion of what we take purely as cosmetics, drugs, or tobacco. My time is going though. All right. Okay, thank you very much. Now, like I said, we'll look at the keywords. Please, control from wherever you are. We have looked at food. What is safety? Everybody is preaching safety. When there is that assurance that hazard is controlled to a level that will not cause harm, that is safety. Some persons will say, oh, we want zero safety. Do we really have zero hazard? So we need to control to a level that is acceptable. Now you bring food and safety together. That assurance that what you will consume to provide nourishment will not cause harm. When you have prepared it and consumed it as intended. Now I want to tell us something. When we say a safe food is free from hazard, it won't cause us harm. Can you tap your, these people worry me today because as I talk, I control. Now, when we say contamination in food, there are meanings to that. Okay, thank you very much for helping me out. We have just defined safety with respect to food. There are different perspectives of safety. Those of you in oil and gas, you talk more about work environment, work safety, safety of your workers. But when we come to food, there are different perspectives. The consumer has his perspective. The interest group, we are the interest group, the food scientists, the industry, the government, the regulatory bodies. But everything is centered on the control of hazard to level that is tolerable. What does the food consumer look at? Has this food been prepared and handled in a way that eliminates anything that will be harmful? The interest group is concerned with the levels required. Have they met? And then in the food industry, everything is done to ensure that those levels, specifications given are met. And in the academy, where we conduct the researches, we look at these transformational processes. Does it actually remove the hazard? And if it does, there are reasons for consuming food. Will it be retained? Those components that meet the body's need, will it be retained when the food is consumed? Now, the government is centered on certain policies, setting the limits, but they can't do without each of the first I have mentioned. going right with your tablet. Can you give me the next slide, please? Now, public health, like I said, the teacher I am, starting from the key words in the topic. What is public? We are the public, the people in the community. And you know, this oil and gas company, all this, that will not function without the human. And when we talk about the health, it's not just the protection right there in the workplace, but your complete well-being. And then public health now looks at the systematic study, the research, and application of measures to preventing, promoting, and protecting your health, your entire well-being. I would want you to, next slide please, I want you to permit me, this is supposed to be 3 slides in word, another click, look at the arrows that will come up. Public health advocates for balanced diet, and that is food. Remember in the definition of food, we had eliminated tobacco and substances that are taken purely as drugs, and alcohol. Public health is advocating. Reduce your intake of alcohol. You look at economic stability and education. When you are enlightened, you'll be able to know the right things to buy and eat and how to prepare them. And when you have that resources available at your disposal, you get quality things to eat. And there you go, creation of healthy environment where our people are really hammering on the workplace safety. So all that is the linking of public health, the well-being of an individual to what the individual consumes. And now, having said all that, there is something at the center of this whole, and that is what we call contaminants. Go back to the topic is there. And I'm going to lead us through what contaminants are, and the types and their consequences. Because apart from the other hazards in the workplace, in fact, this kind of hazard starts even from your home. Before you even go to that workplace to implement the other safety measures, you should start from your home. What you eat. Now, contaminants, any substance. As a professor over the years, I came up with an additional thing to the definition of contaminant. We are told that unwanted substances in food is contaminant. And I said, no. There are certain substances that are actually wanted in the food. They are intentionally added in the food, but they compromise the benefit of that food. I went for a program in Lagos. Those sitting in front seat like us now, the lady, when they were serving the tea, she didn't want to be served. And then a servant, a domestic servant, brought a basket. I entered the basket. I said, "Gee, it's good to be rich." And then she did something. She raised her mug, poured in the hot water, and dropped a bag of green tea. And then the next thing I saw was that there was effervescence from the cup. And I realized she opened a sachet of milk and poured into the green tea. You see, milk is not harmful, it's not hazardous, except for those that have certain problems, lactose infertile persons. But she has done something that is compromising the benefit of the green tea. Milk is going to react with the antioxidant component of the green tea, and thereby she will have that benefit. My friend sitting here, she knows me. I can't close my eyes when I see certain things. I quickly drafted a note. During break time, I passed it on to her. That note simply said, if you want to get the maximum benefit from green tea, please subsequently don't add milk. And when she was feeling embarrassed because of the effervescence, I saw the milk caught me. So contaminant is beyond anything unwanted, but those things that compromise the benefit you derive from the food. Yeah, that's the slide. Very good. So anything contaminated food contains whatever that will compromise safety, whatever that will compromise stability, and whatever that will compromise the benefit. Next slide, please. Now, I run us through types of contaminants. I'm going to be very fast. If you look at the screen, you will see chemical contaminants. We can get them from anywhere. God forbid, is this part of the world, we say, not my portion. A young man returned from the United Kingdom after 25 years. Is this period now? He wants to catch up with colleagues. And they went to that Ishewu joint. After all the eating and drinking, something happened. And they accused the innocent uncle. I keep telling my students, there are certain things, it's not because your uncle don't want you. One day you become an uncle and you become a wizard too. So, you see the chicken there. This Christmas, you will see some of them. They can't walk, they can't breathe. And then when you are buying, they will tell you when you go, I beg, kill them today. Why? What amount of hormone have they injected into this creature? And we have to eat them. What of the point and kill? It will interest you to know. There is a publication I'm about to send out, a manuscript I'm about to send out. It has to do with this point and kill. It gave me so much curiosity. We had to go to different ponds, created our own pond to see the antibiotics administered to these creatures. What is the relics in them? And when we eat, what does it do to our body? And we still have more researches coming up. Different cooking methods. What does it do to the relics of those antibiotics in the fish we eat? Point and kill, most of us, we enjoy it. And you talk about heavy metals. You talk about persistent organic pollutants. I don't know if it's too much in Port Harcourt. My daughter is here. Each time we travel to the village, I tell her, can you see the freshness of the air? All right, we'll move on. And then the ones that is happening recently, adding so many things in order to process food. You've heard of bleach in fufu? You've heard of detergent in fufu? I don't want you to go into that. People pay fees for 5 years to come and learn from us. And some of them that paid the fees for masters and PhDs, they are here. So I won't dive into everything because of time. All right, the next slide. We also have biological contaminants from microorganisms and their toxins to pests. And that's part of my major. We have the physical contaminants, and then we have what is called allergen. It is in this part of the world where this is the season. That groundnut, they boil, you open and you chew, and then you are coughing. Every day you are coughing. You want to go to prayer, to bind the cough. What is in the granite that is triggering your immune system, giving you the cough? Leave granite alone now. All right, the next slide. All right, we have sources from where these contaminants come. The air. I've talked about POPs, not the POP of silly. Those persistent organic pollutants in the air. And you see that most of our delicacies, they are always exposed. You see the Bole woman there? He is just exposed. And then everything from the air can settle on it. And air is a major ingredient when it comes to food preparation. That is a reaction. You see the soil, of course, that is a reservoir of microorganisms and everything that the air washes down from the air. Water. We use water as ingredient for food preparation. Water is also habitat for our food. And then feed, irrigation, aquatic life. When sewages get into the water bodies, they affect the aquatic life. And sewages can also be used as manure. And that is why in the industries, they advocate for effluent treatment. We'll get to that. Now the plants, we have the rhizoplane, the phylloplane, sections of the plant. All of them can harbor one contaminant or the other. And then the animals, they are our food. They also are sources of contaminants. And then the food handlers. In fact, my friend and student, she was in Bonito to train people on how to handle food. Anybody that is in direct contact with food is a food handler. You're a food handler. Because even when your wife serves you, what do? You come in direct, in fact, you are the person that is most directly in contact with what you are putting into your mouth, apart from those who have prepared it. So every person in direct contact with food is a food handler. And you can transmit these contaminants into what you eat, and it will get into your body. And then the food equipment. This is where the industrial work safety equipment and all that comes in. Of course, you don't need to use a dead end when you have your equipment and all that. And there are so many of them. Let's go to the next slide. Because that energy man gave me 15 minutes, and I have have to rush everything through. I have about 30-something slides because I was told I will speak for 45 minutes. Beatus, you deceived me. Oh. All right. There are vehicles. You see the bus there. Before you came here, you relied on something that carried you to this place. Those contaminants rely on certain carriers to get into our food, and those are called the vehicles. We have the mobile and the stationary. Self-explanatory. Next slide, please. Are you there? The next slide. Okay, the next slide talks about the routes of contamination. Just as the bus ran through the roads to bring you here, there are pathways along which the contaminants travel to get into the food. One of them is the direct transfer. You see improper storage. That is poultry stored over vegetable, ready to eat. Exudatives from that poultry can drop on the vegetable. That is the root. It's there in the poultry, traveling through exudative. So, and then you look at the other indirect transfer mechanism. You see the Bole woman. Forgive me, I carried out a research extensively on this. After I returned from UK for my study, I went to somewhere to buy Bole to enjoy Nigerian delicacy. In 2 hours, my whole body chemistry changed. And I called my doctor. He said, if you can, get into the car and get to the hospital immediately. I almost defecated on myself before I get to the hospital. Sorry to say that. That triggered something in me. How safe is this thing we are eating? We had to analyze the bole different, the vegetable, the sauce, and everything to know where the problem was really coming from. You see this place? I didn't say don't eat bole after now. There is this prayer we pray. There is God. That's it. That's it. Don't they kill Africa, man. You see that apron? You see the arrow at that apron? That is a reservoir. You see that woman? She's using that hand to turn the plantain for you. She wants to serve you. She presses it. You give her money. She puts it into that reservoir. She brings out her hand from the reservoir with everything that is in the reservoir, and she packs the onions and the vegetables and puts for you. Each time I explain this, and after that incident, I stopped buying bole outside to eat until recently, when I found out that my system that was relatively pure has acclimatized. And when I prepare it at home, my daughter will say, oh, my crop. Oh, this is too pure. And I will always answer, I say, it's all mother mommy microbe so long as you get the message and pass it across. All right, next slide, please. Now, what are the consequences if we have these contaminants in our system? You see, this is one area that even if somebody is sleeping and they begin to talk about food, everybody would understand. You know, when they come here and they say we are members of QM something, some people don't know the QM something. QMAIS, or is it SI or something? You see how confused a professor is even getting to just put those acronyms together. But once you talk about food, everybody, even the smallest child, will know now. And that is why I'm happy about my own profession. But I think the network in here today, maybe I will go to another level. Chibo, you permit me. All right. The major consequence are those illness that comes from consuming those contaminated food. It has impact on health. It has impact on the disease scale and burden. It has impact on economic losses. I'm going to dwell on that in a minute. Next slide, please. Now, when we talk about food-borne illnesses, food poisoning major, we have different causes from bacteria to mycotoxins, fungi, and their effects you can read for yourself. Neurological problem. I told us of a young man who returned and went with his friends. You know, when he began vomiting and stooling, the first thing they called his people, when they came, they said, we knew it. We knew it that this uncle will not let him be. Where did they carry him to the church? There is miracle, I believe. But it is God that gave man wisdom to go and study medicine in order to help And while they were binding and casting, he passed on. They now had to rush him to the hospital and he was declared dead on arrival. Because of this kind of thing, those things we consume, they have the capacity to shut down the kidney. They have the capacity to shut down the heart. We shall see in a moment. Let's continue. But this is self-explanatory in case they will share this slide. But it's my intellectual property. You know, professors are very concerned about that. Now, we look at, if you were careful in the previous slide, I didn't state anything on bacterial food poisoning. Now, this is a chain. If this chain is broken, there will be no food poisoning. And that is where we'll dwell on contamination. The food is contaminated, and you know one thing they do? They put the food in a showcase and put a bulb. And the temperature is perfect for the proliferation of pathogens. And then, thank God for the affluent people. We are changing our lifestyle from eating at home to eating outside. I didn't discourage you. Go ahead, it's good. And then, without proper reheating, it's consumed. And once it's consumed, the organisms begin to do the most obedient creature on earth. Is this organisms? What did God say now? Go and be fruitful and multiply. Anywhere they find themselves, they want to be fruitful and multiply. Very obedient. So in obedience to the word of God, they will begin to do something in your system. And then you come down with the signs and symptoms of food poisoning. Let's go over. All right, different types, intoxication, infection, cause. I don't want to dwell on that. Can we move on because of time? Now, a click so that they will see the direction. Can you see the direction of that arrow? What happens in the system? Once there is a foreign matter in the system, one of the most common immediate condition is dehydration, and it's a killer. My daughter is here. My friend knows her. She's full. We were in the house one day and I left to see a friend. As soon as I got there, she called me. Mommy, come, I don't know how I'm feeling. I said, what's the matter? He said, I'm stooling, I'm vomiting. I had to get to the house. When I got there, it was bad. I just put her into the car. Called the doctor, said, bring her immediately. When I got there, what did the doctor do? Checked her eyes, touched her, did one or two things. I said, she's dehydrated. We need to buy her many pints of drip. I said, how can she be dehydrated? Somebody that is big like this. So it's a deadly one. It kills. It's immediate. We don't need to take it lightly. What happens is that the body, by presence of that microorganism, shifts its mechanism of absorption of the components of your food to expulsion, release of water and electrolyte to wash off. After all, if you have a very dirty plate, you use more water to wash it, is it not? That is what happens. And you can see the brokenness of the intestinal epithelium just to let water come out to flush off. And it kills quite easily. Let's go to the next slide. We are looking at the complications that comes with contamination. Now, there are other chronic conditions that is attached with eating contaminated food. I won't explain that mechanism, but a tap so that an arrow will come up. All right, look at the direction of those arrows. The reaction of the body to the presence of these organisms. It can lead to the immune system attacking itself. Imagine where you have barbed wire on your fence. And one day you wake up and the barbed wire is dissolving the fence. What will happen? What you are protecting yourself against will come to you, isn't it? That is what happens when the immune system begins to attack itself. So every other thing that it was protecting you from will come in and invade your life. And then we have arthritis. Old age, my leg. No, even young children are beginning to have it. Why? Because of contamination. Once there is inflammation, that's pro-inflammatory reaction right inside because of what has. Let me not go into explaining all that. It can also bring complications in pregnancy when Listeria monocytogenes is involved. And you know one thing about pregnant women, they want to eat everything. Yet these are people that should be very selective to protect themselves and the futures. Let's move on. All right, the huge scale. This is what WHO has given to us. 1 in 10 persons, 600 million globally, fall ill because of what we consume. And that's the number of deaths that occurs. And the high mortality rate. Imagine how many persons dies out of contamination. And one of the speakers said, so many persons die when the construction site collapse and everything. Is it up to 1.7 million? That is why food is very important, and I'm very important. And often, the most vulnerable are children under the ages of 5, about 1.7 billion of them, and then the elderly. We also have loss of healthy life years. That of Nigeria life expectancy is the least there, 54.78. And imagine a young man at his 40s is now stroked. It's not everything he can do. He's losing that healthy life here. Can we go to the next slide, please? All right, economic loss. Absent at work, present in the hospital. You lose income. You also put money into medication. The healthcare cost. You lose productivity. In some part of the world, if you are sick and you are off work, they don't pay you. Permit me, I walked into a fast food. I wanted to buy just bread. One fair lady, you know, they use very beautiful ladies that have used chemicals to dress themselves well. And then, because she was very fair, I could see that she was red. And before I knew, she sneezed. And I said, why are you at work today? You are not looking very... He said, manager said, it's me that have the code to the whatever equipment they are using. I said, okay, no problem. I don't want to buy again. And I walked away. And you see, when you go to those fast food, there are a lot of things that happen. Let me not discourage you so that you be at work and aid your income. It has impact on the industry. If after all the safety measures, we went for excursion in one of the food industries here. In fact, I commend our food industries. From the get, I began to see their safety slogan. And I talked to my students, I said, are you people seeing what I'm saying? They said, yes, so it's so fine. See the things they have posted. I said, that is not what I'm seeing. I'm seeing safety in application. Imagine if this bread is implicated in food poisoning. They are going to lose customers' confidence. There was a time a particular pastor was implicated in killing an entire family. My mother-in-law ran from her house. She was shouting on my name. As she came, I said, what is the problem? Are you all right? She said, that pastor, I don't want to mention the name. I'm very careful. He said, he's killing people. He's killing people. You people should stop eating it. I know you buy in carton. He's killing people. What has happened? There is an Aboki man across the road. And people go there to sit down and enjoy that delicacy. His kiosks became empty. What has happened? He has lost customers. The demand has increased. He will also lose income. And in villages where things happen well, you will also spend money when you are sued and you have to pay compensation. Next slide, please. It has impact on tourism and trade. You can imagine the pictures there. You see the beach when it was flourishing. You see the beach when it has been implicated in food poisoning. There is decline in visit, loss of reputation and all that. And I want to dwell on trade. Do you know that Nigeria cannot export cowpea? Since 2015. How many years now? What happened? The level of preservative, the level of pesticide relics in our cowpea was beyond what was expected. And they have been struggling to see how to use natural preservative to curb that. And see the amount of money Nigeria is losing just to export cowpea. It's there. So that is the kind of thing that contamination can cause. One of my students was in a panel that investigated the young man who was to export soft drink. And one of the points was that the company said we took due diligence in the sense that we didn't know that it was for export, and I froze. You mean that level of preservative is not good for them, but is good for us? Why? God will help us. Pastor Clifford, I take your two. All right, let's see the next slide. On the government, there was it last year or so, where we had a lot of dead fishes in the shore of Bonny? Somebody knew about it here? Our state government has to, they constituted a panel to investigate that. Do you do investigation without money? No. So government also incur costs from healthcare. See how much they have budgeted for healthcare. And imagine what we said about incidents of food poisoning, foodborne illness. This amount, I don't want to ask if it actually goes into the healthcare, but that is the budget for healthcare. And then they will go into investigation, laboratory testing, monitoring, and ensuring that preventive measures are taken. Now, let's see how we prevent contamination. Next slide. The first thing is control at the source. And there are regulations with respect to how to control contamination at the source. NAFDAC has Food Hygiene Safety Regulation of 2025. So it's there. Good manufacturing practices from design, location. Imagine if you have your company, food firm, located near a dump, and what we said about those persistent organic pollutants in the air. In fact, sometimes when I drive past through the airport way, there's a dump there. When I get there, I wind up. It's like the cloud is covered with pollutants and it's so thick like it wants to rain. So it's not good to do that. We all know that already from all other of our safety trainings. And then we have the personal hygiene. That's where I would have loved to dwell on. But never mind, let's go. We have food source and quality. What kind of raw material? Safety assurance. You go out there to the manufacturer. And in fact, that is exactly what is happening with this business problem that we have. The Nigerian Association of Quality Services, they are now training farmers on how to use organic preservative. To see, they are fighting to see how Nigerians can still export cowpea. And good agricultural practices, there are quite so many of them. You know, people pay school fees for 5 years to come and learn some of these things. So after now, if you are interested, not only to go and do certificates and train, come and we will train you too. The next slide. Then prevention of accumulation and proliferation. We need to apply risk analysis. Cletus, I won't go into your area. Go. He will do level 1, 2, 3 training on HACCP for you. I came with my certificate. I said I was going to show us. Yeah, I have it. 3 of them, level 1, 2, 3. As a professor, I went to equip myself. So learning doesn't end. Even when they say the dead don't learn, they learn no. They learn no. Because we, the Christians, say there is heaven and hell. It is when you die, you go to, if you are in heaven, you will now begin to learn how they praise God. Yeah. And then, if you are not a Christian and you didn't do well to merit heaven and you go to hellfire, you may begin to learn some adaptive mechanism to over the fire. So learning doesn't end. Yeah, thank you very much, my brother. That's why we look at things and put them together. Now, these are proper food handling procedure. From your house, there is this thing that happened during Ebola. They say, COVID, wash your hand, wash your hand. When you visit a home, they bring a basin with water and put soap, you wash your hand. Is it not good? And they take that basin and the water to the kitchen sink and pour the water there. And then they keep the basin. They want to do garri. They boil hot water, pour in that basin, and then they do garri there. You see, it starts from the kitchen. Why not have a separate basin? This one is for Gary and it has a cover. And when I say this, some women quarrel me. The same basin that your visitor washed hand, you want to serve your boss, your chairman, you still use the same basin. You put water, you bring to chairman. Chairman wash hand and eat. What are we actually doing? So separation is very important. Using color codes is part of what my friend went to Bonnie to teach them. How to use different color codes. So you can see that every profession is important. It may be a subset of a bigger one. And you find out that certain subsets you can't do without them. One of our speakers said he would have been cutting trees. And I turned and looked at the young man, a colleague who brought me. He's a forester. But Kennedy, can you wave your hand for us, please? And he's doing well. I said, how dare this man really get this kind of course now? I looked at him. Every course is important because they have things to offer. And you see, food poisoning would have killed my daughter. Just 13th of last month, she published a book. If I didn't succumb to what the doctor said, that she's dehydrated, I was looking at how big she is. So this is a very good book. It's also a safety book for your children in secondary school and primary schools. Some persons have picked it up so that they will say, it's not just the workman in the workplace that needs to be safeguarded. Even our children need this safety. Let's go to the next slide, please. Thank you. All right, sanitation and control of infestation. How is our cleanliness like? Those days when we were small, the town crier will carry his gong and he will be telling us, sanitation officers are coming, keep everywhere clean. And you see the villages very clean. They cut their grasses. Where they process cassava, they look for fresh sandy soil, cover everywhere. And the kind of diseases we have now, it's not like that there. When we were in, what's this sanitation all about? It's not just only cleanliness. You should have a safe toilet. And forgive me, I don't do that long one they do. It's for aesthetic reasons. And it's beautiful when they do it. Even if they have the domestic staff that cook for them. My worry is when they eat, okay, they use cutleries. But when they go to do the other big thing, who helps them to do it? Those are vehicles. It will transmit. So it is very important we take cleanliness seriously. Effluent treatment. These ones is being advocated for in our big companies. And if you know what they can do, they don't respect anybody. They don't respect your affluence. They will find their way. And there is a species of cockroach nowadays that even survives in the fridge. Don't say I told you. So there should be proper control of infestation. And part of what led to the rejection of our export is that rat4 was also found in those products to be exported. Next slide, please. I'm rounding off. Now, education, the training, everything we have been talking about here is centered on training, safety practices, contamination prevention. Next slide, please. Conclusion. I want to tell you what I have told you. What did I tell you? Contaminants can be intentional or unintentional. And they are there to either compromise safety, stability, or benefit. A safe food has no contaminant. The consequences of eating contaminated food is very enormous. And we must control them at source and prevent accumulation and proliferation of microorganisms. And that is the major concern of public health. Big food for thought. That company I visited, a very big company, they have their safety precautionary measures and slogans. Yes, they follow safety. What of the small businesses? What of the street vendors? What is happening with them? Food for thought. Next slide, please. I'm waiting for the next slide now. You don't want me to say thank you. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please put hands together for Professor OBIANUJUNWA. It's not the best you can do. Since you've already tapped the energy, it's not the best you can do. Ladies and gentlemen, before she returns to her seat, please let's welcome on stage Honorable Abubakar Suleiman Gumi to present this award for recognition for her contributions to the success of the summit. That was a passionately delivered presentation, and I'm sure her students are well proud of her. In fact, we all are proud of her. The passion is second to none. Thank you very much, ma'am.
I step down. If you want my contact, you be that my colleague, or he will give you my